All right, welcome to For the Artists, a podcast initiated by Creative M Projects, which is a nonprofit committed to helping artists. This is Melissa Sharee, and I am here with Eric Seats, Grammy award-winning producer, my friend, a father, and a member of the board. Hey, 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 how you doing, Seats?
I am super well. I appreciate your energy on that intro. I feel I feel like I'm somebody or something.
You
Hey,
are
thank
somebody, okay? You gonna
you.
always be somebody. That's like I train my students. It's like when you step on stage, make an entrance. That's the first time you coming out there. So our intros
Wow.
have to be right. Okay.
Thank you.
All
I
all
appreciate
right. So this week, this is episode number 2. And this week's episode is titled Dig Yo Ditches. I bet y'all
it.
wondering what that's about, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what it's about, and then I'm gonna toss and we're gonna tag team the discussion today. You guys, our podcast is not scripted. Okay. We just know what the topic is gonna be, and
Mhm.
then we just flow. We let it flow. So dig your ditches. Now, dig your ditches is about, yes, putting in the work and doing what we need to do to dig a ditch. And I know most people be like, okay, so why am I going to dig a ditch? Because obviously, normally, if we're out and about, we're trying to avoid ditches, right? We don't want our cars to get caught in ditches. We don't want to step down into a ditch. Like, that's not something we're normally like, oh, let me go get in that ditch. However, what we're talking about today, think of yourself as like a farmer, okay? And if you needed to collect water, and you didn't have any of the modern day buckets or you have anything to collect this water in, but you needed that water to fertilize the soil and make sure that you were going to grow whatever harvest you wanted to reap the benefits of, you would have to dig a ditch. So last week we talked about, what do you see? We talked about following your dreams. We specifically talked about childhood dreams, but this we're going to talk about, what is it that we need to do in order to dig ditches, to be in position to collect the water, the resources, the things that we need to be able to grow our dreams and grow our person. So,
Mm.
makes you think, right? Does
That
it make you think of like a
what
time in your life when you've dug a ditch?
the whole time that you were explaining that, it made complete sense, and I was able to capture the visions of the times of you were talking about. So yes, digging ditches, all inclusive, uh, um, purpose driven. And it takes time to dig a ditch, correct?
Yes,
And
it
so,
takes time.
yeah, there is no immediate approach, outside of a tractor to digging ditches. If we're talking about, you know, in translation, time, taking time to dig the ditch and appreciating the appreciation that goes into the work of digging the ditch is key as well.
Mhm.
Um, ooh, that yeah, that tapped a nerve or two, maybe so. Um, there are so many pictures painted from hearing you. That's a very clever question. And I can paint my answer. If I can paint my answer, it would
Mhm.
be chiseling away at what you what 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 needs to happen, what's necessary, what's very important, what can't happen without. Chiseling away at progression is digging a ditch. And so that means translation today in time, and what we're talking about being on that, remaining on the subject. That means, I guess, investing in ourselves for greater good. So
Mhm.
meaning to take care, to facilitate what your purpose is, so someone else could benefit, because it behooves us to chisel away at what we know our gift is. And our gifts are going to be called different names.
Mm-hmm.
or look like different scenarios. Gifts are gifts. And you know what's funny? But what society highlights as a gift and media highlights as a gift, and usually any and everything, everybody's hobby is someone else's career.
I like that. That's
And
quotable.
so that being said, just because it's not highlighted or promoted, let's take the scenario of music, because I know music.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what popular radio tells you to aim at, and society tells you to aim at, is popular music. Like, for instance, when we watch the award show, they're
Mm-hmm.
only going to show the segments that get the most attention view wise. And so they will, a lot of times you won't even know that there's a best book section of an award show or a best whatever else, because
Right.
that time slot allotted to the award ceremony, they're going to get the whatever the numbers say they should promote visually, right? During that
Mm-hmm.
time slot. And so that makes complete sense in every sense of that. So chiseling away at everything that that your gift is, and I hope I'm not being too broad or vast, but everything matters. Every it, and I would love for us to not expect it in such a lump sum all the time.
Mm-hmm. You're dropping some nuggets right there, because you're right. Everything does matter. And I think that's the thing, right? When it comes to being an artist, or shoot, anybody for that matter, anybody that's moving to progress towards something,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the age that we live in, it's like everything wants it quick. What is it called? Like a popcorn generation or something like that? It's like microwave
Yeah,
popcorn. I don't even have a microwave, but we won't go there. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
But everybody wants everything to happen quick. And if you don't see results, right, then the doubt starts to creep in and you're like, oh, shoot, am I supposed to be doing this? Nothing's happening.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Can I want what this immediate validation and validity that we seek today, called impatience, is not building any kind of character in you. It's not. It's almost. Let me give you this. Have you ever seen people that have won the lottery but lost it 10 years later?
Well, I've
Whatever,
heard stories.
whatever the
Yeah.
amount was. You can pull it up on YouTube. There's a plethora of
Mm-hmm.
evidence of
Mm-hmm.
people winning up. There's more than not people earning winnings all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they didn't earn it. When you earn something because you've been studying, you've been applying, you've been reciprocating, and then taking action, there's a difference between investing in yourself time wise and then just that immediate validity all of a sudden telling you that you're something that you're not. The reason
Mm-hmm.
why that money is not kept well the majority of the time, and these are facts, is because they didn't earn it. So too much too soon is a lot. And so what happens with us artists a lot of times, I don't know why we do this, but we tend to need permission to be successful. And
Explain that.
I, I think we need too much validation from others about what we do
Mm-hmm.
very well. If you know what I don't accept as a producer, I get people send me songs and material and stuff all the time, and they want to hear my opinion about it. And my first reaction is, well, how do you feel about it?
I can hear you saying that.
Because it's not fair to the art for you to ask me what I think about what you're passionate about. What do
Mm-hmm.
you what difference does it? You know why I don't like that? And why I would never ask anybody what they think about what I've done. Because I didn't do it for your validation. I did it because it was within me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the investment it's the one way that I could promote what's the most innocent part of me.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're unfair, I guess when you're selfish and thinking that you want the benefits too soon, it might be unfair to you and your whole spirit. Because I think our approaches should be innocent in whatever our endeavors are. It's not that we're just talking about music. It's medicine. It's fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It could be legal.
Right.
Whatever their topic or approach is, you need to make sure that it belong. You're achieving it because it belongs to you passionately.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know how when we have children and we try to force, we already initially try to force our names on them. We want them to continue the family business, so we force our occupation on them. What and it's not that that's what they're cut from. I think everybody should be individual, and we are all individual, just as sure as we all have a different hair count and
Mm-hmm.
different fingerprints. That just solidifies another identity. And just because I think I'm impressed with my life doesn't mean I should force my life on my seed. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, I'm so proud of my children, my three. And I'm glad that they're taking their routes because their routes have nothing to do with mine. And at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, I need Aaron to be that medically intelligent. And I need Ari to be this whatever she's becoming. And same,
Mm-hmm.
and because these just because I once thought that they should do what I do doesn't mean that I won't need them and what they're capable of doing greater later.
Mm-hmm.
We get in our own
Like
way.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
We get in our own way. We get but over time, this is the only way we can learn it of learning about it's self-love first. And being proud of who you are. That way you can execute whatever your mission is with excellence and quality because you trust and love what's inside of you. When you love yourself and you're proud of yourself, you'll be a better a person to the whole universe,
Mm-hmm.
let alone your block.
Yeah. I want to hone in a little bit on what you're saying right there in terms of loving yourself and related to just to digging ditches or digging our ditches because you also alluded to just the work that it would take, right? You don't just automatically just dig a ditch, especially if the ground is hard and you know what I mean, there's all these other factors. But I wanted to kind of hone in on when you love yourself and you're passionate about what is within you, right? It's almost like you get to the place where it doesn't matter what you do and what you do not have in terms of resources. You just use what's in front of you to start. So let me give you an example. So when I started, I've started writing like an independent, like EP, right? And
Mhm.
there was, certain songs on it or whatever. And my first mind, I was started to think about all the things I didn't have. Well, I don't have money to pay for studio time. I don't know this person. I don't know that person. It was all the I don'ts, right? And then I finally got to a place where it's like, you know what? I could keep going on forever about what I don't have. What do I have? You know what I mean? I'm going to focus on moving with what I have. And I basically was like, okay, God, this is what it is. This is what I have. I'm going to move forward in what I have. And basically, if it's you, it's going to be your responsibility to do like basically like this is my offering. You know what I mean? This is what I have.
You know what it is? A lot of us are just not honest with ourselves.
Mhm.
And we beg God for what He's already provided. We have more than what we need. The beautiful thing about I, I think what we determine success is a big issue, a problem. A lot of times you might have enough energy, but not enough money, but the energy supersedes the money if you
Mhm.
allow it.
Yeah.
Um, People don't buy the product, they buy your spirit. They buy the person branding that product. They trust the energy behind that machine behind it, which ends up being a driven individual or two or three, or like-minded individuals gathered, accumulated, if you will. The one thing that we can't, and we need to be cautious of what we determine success.
Mhm.
A lot of times we realize what success is too late in life being afforded to for me to raise my hand right now, that should be a success for you.
It's
And it's
success for
not,
me because I got frozen shoulder and I can't lift the
you know
left arm.
what? And it's not until you have frozen shoulder
That
that
you
we
appreciate.
realize that we realize what wealth can be.
That's true.
That could be a great deal of wealth. Not
Mm-hmm.
not a not a not a not a tax bracket that has nothing to do with us, by the way. Not an occupation that 9 times out of 10 you're an employee instead of the employer. We need to be. It's okay to undo what society has told you you should be successful at, or what you should determine success to be. We take too much for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that you're applying your energy, your spirit that's why I'm so overprotective of my spirit, and I'm very selfish with my space. The older I get, I realize you only get one. It's just like this temple. And realizing that it might behoove me to learn how to cook and not have the excuse of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we have just settled into a bunch of effery that your favorite movie has got you feeling bad about, because your story doesn't end like your favorite movie does, your favorite character, if you will. And we have a lot of unfair pressures on us as a society. I don't know. I think the one thing that I would like to encourage, and I'm gonna stay on the topic of God, if we don't wake up and remember that this gift is not, it's precious, and we have to nurture it no matter what, because we have to be advocates of the arts. I've always been like, because I know what those opportunities and those schools and that talent did for me and what it protected me from.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the older I get, I can really look back and say, man, and I talk to kids all the time. I'm like, pick up those drumsticks, man, so you don't get in trouble. And they might not understand what that means right now, but I bet you, I always get a lot of calls. And they're like, man, you stuck to it. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta mean it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to mean it. I mean it. I never took, you know what, we get a negative outlook a lot of time as creators, and especially musicians. And let's not even talk about drummers. So that's why I probably have to wear a tie sometimes to not just fit in the whole herd of the category of being a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of girlfriends that I had, their moms tell me, don't date a musician, don't marry a musician. It's not that I was I'm not a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you the doctor that they married, they probably weren't even happy. So go figure. So whatever, we need to, there's a lot to unlearn and a lot to undo. And you need to be confident in what the gift that God has given you, and realize that that's an investment that you can make back into the community. It could be subtle. It could be platinum, whatever we think that is.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is to just, don't leave this earth talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
And you have to attempt,
Have to. You know what? As we get ready we got to start to wrap up this episode. But I will say, in terms of the comment that you just made about the importance of nurturing our gift, and also investing that thing, right? I want to say that I also feel that everybody's got at least one talent. Everybody's got something that they have a natural ability to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just say be mindful, because, some gifts are put up on a pedestal more than others, but there is no one gift that's greater than any other. So it's like, whatever talent that you have, whatever God has given you, that you naturally just kind of exude, and you can do that thing without even thinking twice about it. Put your energy and your time into nurturing that thing. I don't care, whatever it is.
I would like to encourage us not to get so hung up on these terms,
Mm-hmm.
because my gift or someone's talent or someone's ministry or someone's energy, these are different things that just because the terminologies are different,
Yeah.
they may fluctuate, but you do contribute to this earth. You're not
Mm-hmm.
here by mistake. Your purpose is greater than your circumstance. And so without any excuses, because he has no respected person, and we need
Mm-hmm.
to keep that at the forefront. So just because that grass is always going to look greener, because that's just imagination working against you. And that's okay. But keep it in check,
Mm-hmm.
and do your part. And without like I said, I really don't feel like nobody's hand is dealt better than the other when it comes to him. I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like he laid it out. It may look different, smell different, and taste different, and be different locations, but I don't think that his mind and in our little peon mindsets can't even fathom the good and great that he has in store for us. So chisel away at what you know your purpose is without taking a survey from everybody else around you about what you know you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be okay.
Yes. Yes, as I like to say. Well, you know what, Cease? With that, hey, pass it back. With that, we're going to end on that note because that was perfect. Okay. Do your part, y'all. Dig your ditches. That's a wrap for episode 2 of For the Artists. And we're going to see them next week, right?
That's right. We'll see y'all come back. We need
All
y'all. We need y'all.
right. Peace.